This program is brought to you by Ignite TV. Now you're in command. Visit Rogers.com for more details.
Welcome to the second season of Her Story. This is a conversation with women who are very inspirational and have amazing stories to share. And stories are a tapestry of lifelong experiences and events. And so let's explore the journey. My guest today is Deb Stanton, who is a longtime friend, and we won't get into the number of decades here, but it's always lovely to see you, Deb, and thank you for taking the time to have this conversation today. Deb is a psychic medium and a medical intuitive for people and animals, and she's been doing this work for over 20 years. And she is known nationally and internationally. She is an artist, and she features animal spirituality. And you can see some of her paintings in the background here. And Deb lives on a farm, of course, with lots of dogs and cats and horses. But also, Deb has a gift, and her gift is the natural ability to communicate with spirits and animals. And as we know, very accomplished women are in leadership roles, but leadership can emerge at any stage and at any age and in many forms. And this is Deb's journey. Good morning, Deb.
Good morning, Mary Jane.
And thank you for taking the time. It's lovely and lovely to see you. We don't often get to see each other because we're so far away, and we've all been in lockdown and isolation for a long time. So I had the opportunity to do more research, and it's really interesting how I have found out so many new things about you, even though I've known you for all these years. Let's take a little time and reflect back on some of your early influences. Would you talk about that?
Early influences. Well, even as a child, I would see spirit moving, walking through my house, other different places. And it was just kind of a normal thing for me to see, although it wasn't overly well received in my family, if I would mention it. But on the other hand, my mom would take me with her when she went to see psychics down on the Danforth in Toronto. I'd have to wait in the little waiting room while she went in and had a reading. But she wouldn't acknowledge that I could also see spirit at the same time. So that was kind of a interesting twist growing up, but you kind of learn to put it aside just as a survival thing, and then it kind of really came out probably again in my early 20s, and I've been a student of metaphysical spirituality, everything like that ever since. So it's just second nature to me, only it's something that you really do have to get some discipline around, or it can really make your life uncomfortable.
Well, was there like a pivotal moment that just went, aha, I think I'm going to move forward with this path?
Again, probably in my 20s. Seeing spirit as a child and growing up like that, it was just like everybody did it. Even my own son and my grandkids have seen spirit since they were little, and they don't know any different either. So pivotal moment, again, would be in my 20s and finally finding a group of people that kind of understood what I was about. And finding like-minded people, that's the most important part, and finding support for moving forward. But spirituality and intuitive work and mediumship, that's always been around. Like it's for centuries. But just finding people that you could finally say, this is who I am, and they go, yeah, I'm the same way. That's the important part.
Well, all the times that I had visited the farm, you were always surrounded with rescue dogs. And you just seem to be able to tap into, I mean, I've watched you work with the dogs, and you were just able to sort of tap into what they were feeling and what they needed.
Yeah, and again, that's kind of second nature. That's just a way of functioning for me. But yeah, and in my work in the veterinary world, that would be why I would be drawn to animals, working with animals more so than working with people. It's the same thing. It's just a rapport that you work on developing with animals.
Well, I have not delved into the spirit world in any capacity. I was never sort of, I guess I was just always sort of open to that possibility, but never had any kind of experience along that line until after my mother passed away. And every once in a while, I would get this nudge on my left shoulder, and I would know that it was my mother giving, and I would talk back to her and say, wait a second, what are you doing? So within my own personal experience, and when I talked to my sisters about it, they said, my older sister said that my grandmother often came to her and talked to her. And then I experienced my mother. Now that only lasted for a few months, and I haven't heard from her for quite a while now. So is that something that relates a little bit to what you're talking about?
Yeah, our loved ones, whether they're animals or humans on the other side, they will check in with us initially for a while when they first go over, just to check and make sure that you're doing okay, and just to let you know that they're doing okay. They've arrived safely. They're not stuck anywhere. They're in wonderful, rejuvenated bodies. And it's just to say hi. So someone like me that works as a psychic or a medium, I've trained myself to function in a different dimension, in the fifth dimension. We're in the third down here. So that's really the only difference. Your mom would be coming down from the fifth dimension to touch in with you. It's a matter of getting comfortable of working between the two energy worlds. So yeah, your mom, that's a valid thing for your mom to do. That was good of her.
Yeah. What I have learned is that when you were growing up, you tended to work with the left side of your brain. But the spirit world is really about the right side. So when was those transitions made?
It's, you're right. The left brain is the analytical part. Your right brain is your intuitive part. I work in the veterinary world, in the left brain world, but I've been able to train myself to switch over to right brain and leave the left brain out of it. But that takes discipline to be able to do that. Like sometimes people will come up to me and say, oh, what do you see in my future? Or you know, can you contact my dad? And, you know, it'll be a place like in a mall or a gathering before COVID, you know, and I'm like, I'm not working. I can't do it. So it takes discipline, just to let the other side know that, okay, I'm open to work. You know, it's not something you can totally pull out of your hat. I guess the Long Island medium walking up and surprising people, She would have done an attunement ahead of time to be in the right side of the brain to work correctly. But I couldn't function in doing a left brain job, and it wouldn't be fair. I stay in my left brain when I'm doing analytical work.
Well, I think for you, it may be more natural to be able to switch back and forth, where for some of us, we're sort of really tuned into one side or the other. And I do know that the right side of the brain is where you bring out all your creativity and your artistic abilities, and that's what you put onto your canvases. But you're also using that right brain in a very healing capacity.
Yeah, everybody has their spiritual gift. Everybody. My spiritual gift is connecting with the other side or connecting present day. But everybody has their spiritual gift. Someone else might be as a healer. Yours is as an educator, empowering women. So that is your spiritual gift. Everybody has one in there. Mine's just a little different, but there's many spiritual gifts, and we all have them. We just have to look. Anybody does. Volunteering, that's a spiritual gift that's in you. Advocating for animals or people, that's somebody's spiritual gift. So we've all got it in there. And if we're particularly talking about women, we just tend to be healers in different ways. So my way just happens to be this way. But you're doing great healing work in what you're doing, Mary Jane. Really, really good.
Thank you, Deb. I appreciate those comments, because sometimes I don't always feel that that I am doing a healing job. I think it's important that women have a voice, and that they always feel that they are worthy to have their voice expressed and their opinions acknowledged, and that they can find a seat at whatever table they choose or whatever career or profession that they choose, that their voice matters. Women bring different perspectives to a conversation. And what we're hoping to do with this program is inspire more women to feel that, maybe I can do that too. And it's important to move forward and have more women at more seats at the table. Mm-hmm. But I also feel that I want to explore a little bit, when did you feel that you actually had a voice that was recognized within the mediums and the spirit world?
Probably through many what are known as circles. We're a group of people that have like-minded interest of spirituality or spiritualism, working psychically or working mediumship-wise, gather. And circles are traditional in this type of work, and you just start doing readings for each other, practice readings on each other, and that's when things start to roll. And it's also making a really good connection with your guides on the other side and your angelic realm. Once they see that you're interested, they'll start to work. So, but it's practice and practice. So many years of sitting in what is called circle, and anybody in the spiritualist or mediumistic world would understand what that is practice circles.
So what I'm hearing is that this is a lot of work. Like, it doesn't, even though you have natural abilities and that you've been seeing spirits throughout your childhood into your adulthood, it still takes a lot of work in order to gain the knowledge and respect that you have.
It's constant learning. For me, anyways, some people may choose just to go to a certain level and sit back. and take it from there. But in either of my worlds, whether it's in the veterinary world or spiritual world, in the veterinary world, I'm a continuing education junkie. I'm always learning about intestinal treatments, dental, what's the latest thing in dentistry, what's the latest thing in x-ray, what's the latest thing in ophthalmology. The same on my spiritual work. I'm always working. Right now I'm in the middle of a course on using the angelic realm. I also have my master's as a medical intuitive, so I went back and did that. So it's just, for me, it's a constant, just a way of being, but I think I've always been like that. But it does take work. It does. It's studying. I also teach internationally. Before COVID, I also taught workshops in Canada and here at my house and down in the States. And I'm returning to teaching down in the States this summer in a town called Lilydale, New York, which is the largest group of mediums and psychics in the world. It's a town of mediums and psychics. Anybody wants to look that up, go to Lilydale, New York, and look that up. It's fascinating. So it's constant education for me.
You may have sparked the interest of some of our viewers, and I appreciate the fact that you've given the contact of Lilydale, New York. And I didn't realize that that was a community of mediums and spiritual and medical intuitives and spiritual learners and healers. It never occurred to me that there was sort of like a centralized group.
You being an advocate for women, this is where the suffragette movement started. Was in a town of psychics and mediums.
Really?
So research it. It's really cool. You can go down there from the end of June to Labor Day weekend. Not the past couple of years, but hopefully it's opened up again by next year.
I didn't know that. It's always amazing to me what I get to learn from this program, and that's really interesting because, well, as we both know, women are just a force of nature to start with, and we bring change. We bring change to all kinds of situations within our communities, within our country, globally, on a lot of different issues. And we can see how youth can take up a mantle and move it forward. But with women, it can come out at any age and at any stage to change the world. And that's what the suffragettes did. They started that in Lilydale, New York.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there's something called evidential medium. Now, what does that mean?
I've luckily been gifted by working evidentially. I can connect with a specific person on the other side that you might want to tap in with. That person will share memories through me to you that just you two know, and I don't know. I'm just the one in the middle that can see them, hear them, or feel them. They're not my memories. They drop them into me, and I say them to my client. They'll make sense to them. They're not my memory, so they make no sense to me. I'm just the one in the middle. And they'll do that through feelings, pictures, smell, just different ways to convey a message. If I'm not picking it up properly, they'll come around and re-show me. And often they'll just correct me. Like, no, that wasn't right. This is what I said. So it's a rapport that you have with your guides who are working through somebody's loved one.
Now, is this at the angelical level? Is that
your angelic realm is is separate. They're part of your tribe to work with and to function with and to live with down here, but your spiritual realm are different. Your angelic realm have never been down in a human form. They're celestial beings, but your guides often have at some point been in some kind of human form, and either in this dimension or another dimension. So it's two different ways of working. I've just decided to blend it all. And I also do remote viewing, so I can go into people's houses, barns, things like that. That's another thing I've trained myself to do, which works well, especially when I'm working with animals. If they're having a problem in their house or their barn, I just get them to take me in and show me around.
Well, I've always felt that I've had, like, my grandmother was my guardian angel, and have always felt a sense of her, but not a presence, but just a sense. But I should go back to the barns and your communication with animals. I have a lot of thoughts rolling through my head, so many, Deb, at this time. But going back to the animals, how do you tune in to the communication of what the animal needs or what the animal is feeling?
I work through a photo. I work internationally with animals also, but I work through a photo. They will email me a photo. That way the animal doesn't have to move anywhere. And that allows me to work like in Russia, India, England, Australia, almost impossible places where you could never see animals. But it's to teach yourself to tune in. So I'll send a thought out to them in human. Somewhere in the middle, the universe turns it into something they understand as, say, a dog. The dog will send a thought back to me in dog, and somewhere in the middle, the universe turns it into something I understand as a human. And that's how it works.
So if folks are having a problem with their dog, it's not necessarily the dog, it may be the environment, and the dog is communicating to you what the problem is. Yep,
that's how it works. I can also connect with animals that have passed, and they'll work much the same way.
Why would an animal from the past communicate to you?
A lot of people just want to connect with their pet that has passed. A lot of times, our animals mean a lot more to us than a lot of people in our lives. A lot of times when I'm working with a past loved one, animals will come through too. They may just stop in briefly, and I'll be able to describe them, and someone will say, oh yeah, that was Dad's dog. Dad always liked dogs, and then more will come. I can describe who they are and that, but they'll just come forward because they know that it's family, and they're family over there too. We're all together. We all get to be together again over there.
Well, I'm looking forward to that, because I'm really quite interested in spending more time with my mom and my grandmother. That's very comforting for me to know that. But so how can folks get in touch with you if you have sparked an inspiration in terms of, this is something that is familiar to me and I'd like to pursue it more, or if they want to contact you because they have some questions and some healing to do in their own lives? So how can they get in touch with you?
They could go to my website, which is debstanton.ca, and connect with me that way, or you can go to my Facebook page, which is Deb Stanton, Animal Communicator Psychic Medium. They can find me that way. So I'd be more than willing to help anybody out on their spiritual journey. Hopefully when COVID lifts a bit, we can function a bit more, or back in the spring, when spring comes, we can do things outside. But yeah, that would be the easiest way to find me.
Oh, that's great. Through this journey, you talked about how you were always curious and how you are always learning, and there's always something new that you're chasing after in terms of, I need to know more about this and I want to delve more into that. Not only as in your veterinary work, but also in your medium work. And you've talked a lot about your journey moving forward and how you are helping people. But I want to ask you, what have you actually learned about yourself?
That's a really good question. What I've learned about myself is I'm more complex than I thought I was. There's more layers to me than I ever thought there were. But I still laugh a lot, goof around a lot. It's not all serious, but there are many more layers to me than I ever thought, and I have to get used to each one that starts to show itself. But I'm also a mom and a grandma.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Do you have any words of wisdom that you would like to pass along to our viewers? And we're at the 2-minute mark, so.
Just remember, everybody has their spiritual gift. It doesn't have to be something that I do. And also, just be cognizant of the younger kids that are coming up. They are more gifted, more open. Most of us with grandkids will probably understand that. Not every kid's going to be open, but there's so many gifted, healing children that are here now and are still coming down. They're here as healers. You can look it up. You can look up rainbow children, crystal children, indigo. You, Mary Jane, and I would be indigo adults. So there's so much to look up, but there's so many of these beautiful souls coming down to help heal the earth and heal us. So look around and research that a bit and see that within your own kids and your own grandkids.
Well, I have just time for a quick quote here. And the quote that I got from you is, always honor your own instincts.
Go with your gut. It doesn't lie.
Okay. And quickly, oh my goodness, we're running out of time. It's just been such a wonderful conversation with you, Deb, and I really appreciate it. We really need to get to see more of each other. We were missing. We were talking about you and Brian the other night, and how long has it been since the four of us have been able to get together? However, perhaps another time, but thank you so much for joining Her Story, and tune in next time for another amazing inspirational story on Her Story.
Call the Rogers TV viewer response line, email us, or connect with us on social media.
Barlow. I'm a right winger with the Owen Sound Attack. Get great OHL action on Rogers TV as we bring you Owen Sound Attack games live, both home and away.
You have to be able to do things you hate.
You hate?
There has to be two of you. There's the real one and the one they take pictures of for the good of the country.